What if I told you that you don't attract what you want? You attract what you are. What if I proved to you that your current reality, whether it's scarcity, frustration, or stagnation, isn't an accident, but a direct reflection of an energy you're emitting right now, without even realizing it? Great masters, like the Egyptian sage Thoth, knew this for millennia. They didn't ask the universe. They commanded it. They didn't wait for reality to change. They manipulated it through a specific energy technique. Pay close attention. The universe doesn't understand words. It understands frequency. And right now, your frequency might be sabotaging you, keeping you stuck in a cycle of repetition. But today, that ends. In the next few minutes, I'm not going to give you positive thoughts. I'm going to give you the key, the exact technique Thoth used to align his energy and force the universe to materialize a new reality. This isn't a metaphor. It's a technology of consciousness that has been hidden for centuries. And by the end of this video, you'll have the power to use it. If you're ready to stop asking and start commanding, comment below. I am the creator. You can spend hours of your day reciting mantras, making vision boards, and trying hard to maintain a positive mindset. And while intention is powerful, it's only the first step, the blueprint of a building. Positive thinking draws the design, but it doesn't lay a single brick. If your material reality, your finances, your relationships, your health doesn't reflect your thoughts, it's because you're missing the connection to the physical world. The truth, as taught in Hermetic traditions, is that the universe doesn't respond just to your mind, but to your consolidated vibration, an energy that radiates from your entire being. That vibration isn't what you want to think. It's what you genuinely are in each moment. It's the total sum of your unconscious beliefs, your dominant emotions, and, crucially, your daily actions. You might try to think about prosperity, but if your actions are driven by fear of lack, it's the vibration of fear that the universe receives and mirrors back to you. Material reality is a relentless mirror. It doesn't reflect your intentions, but your actual frequency, your coherence between thought, feeling, and action. The great danger of the positive thinking trap is that it can lead to frustration and guilt. When the results don't show up, people start believing they're not thinking positively enough, that something's wrong with them. This creates a vicious cycle of self-sabotage, where the effort to be positive breeds anxiety, which in turn emits a negative vibration. You're about to discover that your vital energy, your creative power, might be getting drained by pillars you didn't even know existed, while you focused all your attention only on the surface of your mind. Manifestation is not a mental act. It's an act of embodiment. It's about bringing an energy from the subtle plane into the dense plane, and that requires more than just thought. It requires a structure, a formula that integrates all aspects of your being. Thought is just one gear in that machine. Without the others, the engine won't run. You can have the best map in the world, but if you don't start the car, you'll never leave the driveway. The illusion of positive thinking keeps you sitting in the car, holding the map, imagining the trip, but never turning the key in the ignition. This disconnection between the mental map and the territory of reality is where most people get lost. They become collectors of spiritual knowledge, stacking up information, techniques, and concepts, but never translating that wisdom into tangible results. They live in a state of mental obesity, intoxicated with theory but paralyzed in practice. Real change doesn't happen in your head. It happens in your life. And for that to happen, you need to understand the mechanics of creation, the engineering of manifestation. There's a 4-part formula to manifest any reality, a system that aligns the invisible world of energy with the visible world of matter. And the first pillar of this formula, the first gear you need to activate, is exactly the opposite of what most positivity gurus teach. It's not about thinking, visualizing, or feeling. It's something much more concrete, direct, and often challenging. The first pillar, the key that starts the engine of manifestation, is action. Forget, for a moment, the idea that you need more knowledge, one more book, one more course. The brutal truth is that most people aren't stuck due to lack of information. They're stuck due to the paralysis of inaction. They know what they need to do, or at least the first step, but they don't take it. Action is the most misunderstood pillar of creation, because it's not just about any movement. It's not about staying busy or working yourself to exhaustion on something that doesn't fulfill you. It's about aligned action, the movement that breaks inertia and aligns the spiritual world with the material one. Inaction is one of the most subtle forms of self-sabotage. It disguises itself as caution, as planning, as waiting for the right time. But the right time never comes. Inaction isn't a neutral state. It's an active decision to stay in the same reality. As Thoth taught, what doesn't evolve, dissolves. The universe is in constant motion, and by choosing not to act, you create stagnation, solidifying the circumstances you so badly want to change. You become a dam in your own life, flow, and the energy that was meant to create the new becomes a swamp of frustration and resentment. Acting, even if imperfectly, is the antidote to paralysis. A small step in the right direction is infinitely more powerful than years of planning without execution. Imperfect action breaks the spell of perfectionism, that fear of not being good enough that keeps you frozen. By acting, you send a clear and unambiguous signal to the universe. I'm ready. I'm committed. You step out of the realm of ideas and into the field of experience. That's when the universe can finally meet you halfway, opening doors and presenting opportunities that were invisible from the standpoint of inertia. Many dreamers stay in the world of ideas because it's safe. In the realm of imagination, there's no risk of failure, rejection, or judgment. But there's also no growth, no fulfillment, no life. Action takes you out of the stands and puts you in the game. And only those in the game can win. Doers aren't the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones with the courage to test their ideas in the real world, to adjust course, to learn from mistakes, and to keep moving, no matter how slowly. They understand that movement generates clarity, not the other way around. Think of your life as a garden. Positive thinking is choosing the seeds, but if you don't dig the soil, plant, water, and care for it, no flower will ever bloom. Action is the act of getting your hands in the dirt. It's the work, often uncomfortable, of turning a vision into something tangible. It's the bridge between the sky of your imagination and the ground of your reality. Without that bridge, your dreams remain ghosts, haunting your mind with unrealized potential, with a life that could have been. The fear of action often comes from a misunderstanding of its purpose. The goal of the first action isn't to reach the final objective. It's simply to break the state of paralysis. It's like pushing a car with a dead battery. The hardest part is the first few inches. Once it starts moving, inertia works in your favor. The first action creates momentum, a kinetic energy that makes the second action easier, and the third even easier. It's the beginning of a virtuous cycle that replaces the vicious cycle of stagnation and doubt. However, just acting is not the complete solution. Action alone, without the other pillars, can be chaotic and unproductive. It's like driving a powerful car while blindfolded. You're moving, spending energy, but without direction. The chance of hitting a wall is almost certain. Action needs a navigation system, high-quality fuel to be effective. And this second pillar, which gives quality and direction to your action, is what determines whether you're building the reality you want or just wearing yourself out in vain. If action is the engine of the car, the second pillar is the fuel that powers it. Your emotion. Every feeling you cultivate throughout the day, whether conscious or unconscious, is a vibrational command that the universe receives and obeys without question. You might be taking massive action, working 16 hours a day toward your dreams, but if your dominant emotional state is fear, anxiety, or despair, you're pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. Action pushes you forward, but negative emotion pulls you back, creating an internal conflict that drains your energy and sabotages your results. The law of vibration, one of the core principles of Hermetic teachings, is relentless in its simplicity. Like attracts like. Your emotions are a magnetic field. If you act from a feeling of lack, afraid there won't be enough, you tune your reality to the frequency of scarcity. The universe, responding to that frequency, will bring you more unexpected bills, more missed opportunities, more situations that validate and reinforce your belief in scarcity. You create a self-fulfilling prophecy cycle, where your external reality becomes a perfect mirror of your internal state. Many people try to fight their emotions, suppressing anger, ignoring sadness, more faking joy they don't feel. But emotions can't be destroyed, only transformed. Trying to suppress a feeling is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It will inevitably pop back up, often with more force. The secret isn't to deny what you feel, but to learn the art of emotional alchemy. It's understanding that every emotion, even the most uncomfortable ones, carries a message and an energy that can be transmuted and redirected. Think of your emotions as your car's navigation system. Joy, gratitude, and love are like a GPS telling you, you're on the right track, keep going. Fear, anger, and sadness are alerts. Warning, check your route, something's off. Instead of getting mad at the alert, you can use it to adjust your course. Fear might be showing you where you need more preparation or confidence. Anger might be revealing a boundary that was crossed and needs to be protected. Sadness might be pointing to something you value and that needs more attention. When you act driven by high-frequency emotions like gratitude, confidence, and passion, your actions become exponentially more effective. You enter a flow state where things seem to happen more easily. The right people show up, solutions present themselves, and obstacles seem smaller. This happens because your vibration is aligned with the vibration of the reality you want to create. You're no longer swimming against the current, but flowing with it, using the power of the universe in your favor. The big challenge is maintaining that emotional coherence in a world that constantly bombards us with fear and worry. That's why emotional mastery is a daily practice, not a final destination. It requires vigilance to notice when your vibration is dropping and tools to raise it again. The quality of your emotional fuel will determine the performance and distance of your journey. Low-quality fuel, full of impurities like resentment and self-pity, will make the engine of your life stall, sputter, and eventually stop, no matter how powerful it is. Learning to cultivate and sustain high-level emotions is, therefore, crucial. But how do you do that consistently? How do you transmute the lead of fear into the gold of confidence? That transmutation, that internal alchemy, is only possible when you activate the third pillar of the formula. It's a tool of immense power that you use every day, every moment, but which, most of the time, due to lack of awareness, ends up being used against yourself, reinforcing the emotions and the reality you don't want. This powerful tool, the third pillar that allows the transmutation of your emotions, is your communication. And this goes far beyond the words you speak to others. It refers mainly to the incessant internal dialogue that goes on in your mind. The narrative you tell yourself about who you are and how the world works. Every word you think or speak is like a programming command, a decree that reinforces a belief, evokes an emotion, and consequently shapes your perception of reality. Think about the phrases that run on autopilot in your mind. I can't do this. This is too hard for me. I never get lucky. Things always go wrong. Each of these sentences isn't a neutral observation of reality. It's a self-sabotaging spell. By repeating them, you're instructing your subconscious to find evidence to support them. You're programming your nervous system to feel the fear, helplessness, and frustration associated with those ideas, feeding the engine of your life with the lowest quality emotional fuel. Hermetic tradition and many other ancient schools of wisdom taught that the word has creative power, the logos. The universe was spoken into existence. In the same way, you are constantly speaking your reality into existence through your internal and external dialogue. When you consciously change your communication, you begin to rewrite the script of your life. You stop being a character who merely reacts to scenes and become the narrator, the one who sets the tone, the direction, and the outcome of your own story. Emotional transmutation begins with communication. When the feeling of fear arises, instead of saying, I'm scared, I can't do this, you can consciously choose a new narrative. You can tell yourself, I feel the energy of fear, and I choose to use it as fuel to act with courage. By doing this, you don't deny the emotion, you reframe it. You use the power of your words to give that energy new meaning and direction, turning a potential poison into a powerful medicine. This practice of conscious communication is an act of personal sovereignty. It's you taking control of your inner kingdom. Most people allow their minds to be a chaotic mess of random, reactive, and negative thoughts, a reflection of the noise of the outside world. But you can choose to transform your mind into a well-tended garden, where you consciously plant the seeds of words that match the reality you want to harvest. Words of power, capability, gratitude, and trust. Watch how you talk about your life to others. Do you describe yourself as a victim of circumstances, always complaining about problems and injustices? Or do you present yourself as the creator of your experience, focusing on lessons and opportunities? The people around you respond to the story you tell. If you present yourself as weak and unlucky, they'll likely treat you that way. If you communicate with confidence and purpose, they'll feel your strength and treat you with respect. Your words define your place in the world. Aligning your action, emotion, and communication creates a powerful synergy, a coherence that accelerates manifestation. Your actions are fueled by elevated emotions, and those emotions are sustained by empowering inner communication. The three gears begin to turn in harmony, creating an unstoppable momentum. However, even with this powerful trinity aligned, everything can still fall apart. The whole building can collapse if the foundation it was built on is cracked. And this fourth and final pillar is the deepest and most fundamental of all. This final pillar, the foundation on which everything is built, is your beliefs. They are the invisible architecture of your reality, the operating system silently running in the background of your consciousness, determining what you consider possible or impossible. Your beliefs are the lenses through which you see the world, and the universe, in its infinite obedience, will never give you something that, at your deepest and most unconscious level, you don't believe is possible, or that you don't believe you deserve. They are the root cause of your entire life experience. You can act with discipline, cultivate positive emotions, and communicate with power. But if a core limiting belief is active in your subconscious, it will act like a self-sabotage program, undermining all your efforts. If you believe, for example, that money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are dishonest, you might even take action to earn more money, but your internal system will find a way to get rid of it because having it would directly conflict with that deeply rooted belief. The most crucial aspect to understand about beliefs is that most of them are not yours. They were installed in you during childhood, the most suggestible period of life. You absorb them from your parents, your teachers, society, and culture. Phrases like, "life is a struggle," "you have to work hard to survive," or "don't trust anyone," were recorded into your subconscious mind before you even had the capacity to question them. And now, as an adult, you operate from that old programming, often without even realizing it. These beliefs form your identity, the story of who you believe you are. I'm an anxious person. I'm not good with numbers. I'm unlucky in love. When you identify with these ideas, they become your reality. You live your life looking for evidence to confirm these stories, ignoring everything that contradicts them. Your reality becomes an echo chamber for your deepest beliefs, and breaking out of that cycle feels impossible, because you're trying to fix a programming issue using the same faulty program. The good news, and this might be the most liberating news you'll ever receive, is that just like that programming was installed, it can be uninstalled and replaced. You are not your beliefs. You are the consciousness that observes the beliefs. By bringing those unconscious programs into the light of awareness, you take their power away. You can look at a belief like, "I'm not good enough," and ask, "Is this really true? Or is it just a story I learned?" In that questioning, freedom begins. The work of belief reprogramming is true alchemy. It's the process of transforming the lead of self-imposed limitations into the gold of unlimited potential. This is done through the conscious repetition of new beliefs, the active search for evidence that supports them, and the celebration of every small victory that reinforces the new programming. It's a work of persistence and faith, the faith that you can become the conscious architect of your own mind and, but as a result, your own reality. Now you know the 4 pillars that support your life experience, the beliefs that form the foundation, the emotions that act as fuel, the communication that programs your mind, and the action that builds in the physical world. You have the pieces of the puzzle, but knowing the individual pieces isn't enough to see the full picture. There's a secret to putting them together, a magnetic, unifying force that aligns all the pillars and turns this formula into a near-instant creative power, a force that gives life and direction to the entire system. The great revelation, the secret that connects and enhances all 4 pillars, is not a complex technique or some distant esoteric knowledge. It's the most fundamental force of creation, purpose. Without a clear and defined purpose, your efforts, even if aligned, become scattered like unfocused light. Your actions, emotions, words, and beliefs have no center of gravity to orbit, becoming a set of gears spinning in place, failing to generate the power to move your life in the direction you want. Purpose is the axis that connects all the wheels and makes them spin in unison. Many people get lost looking for a purpose, believing it has to be something grand, a mission to save the world or leave a legacy for history. That pressure paralyzes. The truth is, the most powerful purpose is the one that is visceral, personal, and deeply meaningful to you. It can be something as direct as breaking the financial scarcity cycle in your family, or as intimate as being a truly present and loving parent to your children, or even achieving inner peace and living free from the anxiety that's trapped you for years. A defined purpose acts as the most powerful filter and magnetism system that exists. It becomes your North Star, Faced with any decision, big or small, you no longer need to get lost in a sea of pros and cons. The question becomes simple. Does this bring me closer to or further from my purpose? Automatically, what doesn't serve you loses its appeal. Distractions become irrelevant. Other people's opinions lose weight. Your path becomes clear because you now have a destination to move toward. At the same time, purpose acts like a powerful magnet, attracting into your life the people, resources, and opportunities needed to fulfill it. As Thoth taught, a soul without direction is a feather in the wind, but a soul with purpose is an arrow flying straight to the target. When you become that arrow, the universe seems to conspire in your favor, not through magic, but through a law of resonance. Your clarity and focus emit a frequency so pure and powerful that everything vibrating in harmony with it is naturally drawn into your orbit. This is the wisdom that changes absolutely everything. Your reality doesn't transform when you simply start doing different things. It transforms when you start doing everything with a different reason, with unified intention. Purpose infuses meaning into every action, even the most mundane ones. Washing the dishes is no longer a chore. It becomes an act of creating order in your environment to gain mental clarity. Going to work stops being an obligation and becomes a step toward building your family's financial freedom. With a clear purpose, the 4 pillars organize themselves. Your beliefs align to support the possibility of achieving your purpose. Your emotions become the fuel of passion for your journey. Your internal and external communication begins to reflect your mission, and your actions become focused and effective steps toward your goal. Purpose is the vital force that animates the structure, turning a set of rules into a living, breathing, creative organism. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the agent of your destiny. You stop reacting to life and start creating it from a place of inner power. Having a purpose is the ignition point, the moment when the spark of intention meets the fuel of emotion and explodes into a driving force of transformation. But how do you keep that flame alive every day? How do you turn that inspiring idea into a constant force that alters matter and shapes your daily reality? There is a daily practice for that. Knowing your purpose is like finding your destination's address on a map. But the real power, the force that actually moves you on the journey, comes from turning that address into an active and pulsing force in your life. The practice to achieve this is surprisingly simple, but its depth is transformational. Turn your purpose into a daily mantra. This is not about empty repetition. It's an act of consecrating your day. When you wake up, before the outside world invades your awareness with its demands and noise, before even picking up your phone, take a moment, sit in silence, breathe deeply, and declare your purpose out loud with intention and feeling. Declare, "My purpose is to build a life of freedom and peace." Feel the vibration of those words. Or, "My purpose is to be a source of strength and stability for my family." Let that intention fill the room. This conscious repetition is not superstition or magical thinking. It's an act of neurovibrational programming. You are literally calibrating your energetic field for the day ahead. You are setting the fundamental frequency on which you will operate, instructing every cell of your body and every layer of your mind to align with this central truth. It's like tuning an instrument before a concert. You ensure that the music of your day will be harmonious. This morning declaration becomes your main filter for every decision you make. The modern world presents us with an infinite number of choices, and it's easy to get lost in the maze of options, wasting energy on what doesn't matter. With your purpose as a living mantra, decision-making becomes radically simplified. Before saying yes to a new project, a social invite, or a purchase, you'll ask yourself the ultimate question: Does this bring me closer to or further from my purpose? The answer, coming from your intuition, will be immediate and clear, serving as your internal compass amid the chaos. This daily act of reaffirmation builds energetic momentum. Each time you declare your purpose, you add another layer of energy and conviction to it. It's like carving a path into stone, drop by drop. At first, the effect may seem subtle, but over time, that path becomes a deep, defined channel through which your life's energy flows with ease and power. You stop wasting willpower trying to motivate yourself and instead are pulled by the magnetic force of your own purpose, which becomes more real and tangible with each passing day. By anchoring your day in your purpose, you become less susceptible to emotional fluctuations caused by external events. A criticism, an unexpected situation, or negative news lose the power to completely throw you off because they're seen through the lens of your greater purpose. They become mere events on the path, not the end of the path. You develop inner resilience, a stability that doesn't depend on circumstances, but on the clarity of your inner direction. Your purpose becomes your anchor in the storms of life. This practice transforms purpose from an abstract idea in your mind into a reality embodied in your body. You begin to walk, talk, and act like the person who lives that purpose. Your posture changes. Your tone of voice changes. The way you look at the world changes. You're no longer trying to achieve something. You're being the energy of what you want to create. It's the difference between reading about swimming and actually jumping in the water. The daily declaration is your morning dive into the waters of your own intention. But inevitably, even with this practice, the old programming will try to take back control. The voices of doubt and fear, conditioned by years of repetition, will show up to sabotage your new direction. They'll whisper that your purpose is nonsense, that you're not capable, that it's safer to go back to the comfort of the known. And when those shadows arise, how do you face them? There is an energetic shield you can build to protect yourself. And it comes from a completely unexpected place. A place most people avoid at all costs. This energetic shield isn't built through denial or suppression, but through transformation. Even with a clear purpose and a daily mantra, you will still feel fear, doubt, anger, and frustration. That's part of the human experience. Immature spirituality, the kind that only seeks light and love, tries to run from these emotions, labeling them as negative and undesirable. But Hermetic wisdom, the wisdom of true alchemists, teaches the opposite. Don't run, dive in. These emotions aren't your enemies. They are raw energy, misdirected, waiting to be refined and used in your favor. When a wave of fear rises, paralyzing you in front of a new challenge, the automatic reaction is to retreat. But the alchemist does it differently. They don't ignore fear, they face it and speak to it. They ask, "Fear, what are you trying to protect me from? What's your positive intention?" Often, fear is just trying to keep you safe, based on a past experience. By understanding its message, you can thank it for its protection and consciously choose to act with courage, using the very energy of fear, the adrenaline, as fuel to take the next step with awareness and presence. Likewise, anger is one of the most powerful energies we possess. In its raw state, it's destructive, leading to conflict and regret. But the alchemist doesn't repress it, they channel it. They use the force of anger not to attack people, but to break obstacles. If you're angry about an injustice, use that energy to create a solution. If you're angry at your own procrastination, use that force to break the cycle of inertia. Anger becomes the hammer that breaks the chains holding you back, instead of the weapon that hurts you and others. Even sadness, an emotion society teaches us to hide, has a hidden gift. Deep sadness connects us with what we truly value. It arises when we lose something or someone we love, or when we become disconnected from our own essence. Instead of drowning in it, the alchemist uses it as a portal to compassion for themselves and for others. Sadness can soften a hardened heart, dissolve the ego, and reconnect you with your humanity and with what truly matters on your journey, realigning your priorities. By practicing this alchemy, you stop being a victim of your emotions and become their master. You understand there are no good or bad emotions, only energy that can be used constructively or destructively. You develop emotional intelligence that allows you to navigate your inner world with the same skill a captain navigates the ocean, using the winds and storms in your favor instead of being flipped over by them. You stop fighting yourself and begin working in harmony with every part of your being. That emotional mastery is the real energetic shield. When you know you can transform any emotion into power, you stop fearing them. Doubt becomes an invitation to seek more clarity. Frustration becomes a sign that a new approach is needed. You don't eliminate the darkness inside you. You learn how to light a candle within it, using it as the raw material to create more light, more wisdom, and more focused action. Every emotional challenge becomes an opportunity to forge a stronger, more resilient character. And something magical happens when you reach that level of emotional mastery and alignment with your purpose. The universe, which once seemed silent or indifferent, starts responding clearly and directly. It begins sending you signs, speaking to you in a subtle, symbolic language. But the vast majority of people, even those on a path of awakening, have never been taught how to decode this language, missing messages that could dramatically accelerate their journey. Once you align your 4 pillars, energize them with a clear purpose, and learn to transmute your emotions, your vibration becomes so coherent and powerful that you begin to notice the universe's response. This response comes in the form of synchronicities. They're those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. Seeing repeated numbers like 1111 exactly when you're thinking about your purpose. Unexpectedly meeting the person who has the answer to a problem you've been struggling with. Hearing a song on the radio with the exact lyrics you needed at that moment. That's not chance. It's confirmation that you've entered the flow. Thoth, in his teachings, said that nature doesn't waste signs. Every event in your life, no matter how small, carries meaning, if you have the eyes to see it. Synchronicity is the universe's language, a real-time feedback that your inner vibrations are aligning with cosmic order. It's the universe winking at you and saying, "Keep going. You're on the right path. I'm with you." These signs are designed to strengthen your faith and encourage you to keep moving, especially when doubt tries to creep back in. To decode this subtle language, you need to cultivate 2 seemingly opposite qualities: attention and detachment. Attention is required to notice the patterns. You need to be present, observing the world around you with childlike curiosity, noticing the little things most people miss because they're trapped in noisy minds. Keep a synchronicity journal. Write down the strange and meaningful events. Over time, you'll start to see the invisible web that connects everything and understand the logic behind the magic. At the same time, you need detachment. If you start desperately looking for signs out of anxiety, you'll block the flow. Anxious seeking emits a vibration of lack, and the universe responds to that vibration, causing the signs to disappear. The right attitude is that of a calm observer. Just watch, smile inwardly when a sign appears, give thanks for the confirmation, and keep taking action toward your purpose. The sign isn't the destination, it's just the road sign. What matters is that you keep driving. Synchronicities work like a spiritual GPS system, When you're aligned, they show up often, confirming your path. If they slow down or vanish, it could be a sign you've drifted off course, letting an old belief or low-vibe emotion take control. Instead of panicking, use it as a call for self-check. Where did I disconnect? Which pillar is out of alignment? Even the absence of signs is a sign, a call to recalibrate your internal compass. It's important not to overanalyze every sign with your logical mind. The language of the universe is symbolic, and it speaks directly to your intuition, to your heart. The meaning of seeing a blue butterfly might not be in a book of symbols, but in the feeling it sparked in you at that exact moment. Trust your first impression, your inner feeling. Intuition is your personal synchronicity decoder, and the more you trust it, the clearer and sharper it gets, guiding your steps with a wisdom that goes beyond logic. These signs, when decoded and followed, will guide you to the next level of your evolution, to the next phase of your manifestation journey. They'll point you toward new doors, new people, and new understandings. However, to walk through those doors and access that next level of reality, you'll be asked to make a sacrifice. You'll need to let go of something most people cling to with all their strength, something they believe is essential for their safety. But in truth, it's the biggest obstacle to their freedom. That thing we desperately cling to is the past. For the new reality you're building to finally manifest, the old has to go. The universe can't fill a cup that's already overflowing. Real change requires you to make space, to create a sacred vacuum in your life. That means having the courage to let go of everything that no longer resonates with the person you're becoming. It's a process of emptying out, an energetic cleanse that clears the path for the new to bloom. This shows up in every area of your life. It means letting go of relationships that drain your energy, friendships built on complaining and negativity, even if there's a long history shared. It means dropping habits that keep you stuck in a low vibration, like spending hours on social media, consuming toxic news, or using food and entertainment as emotional escape. It's an act of self-love, the decision that your energetic well-being matters more than the comfort of old patterns. The deepest detachment, however, is letting go of old versions of yourself. It means abandoning the victim identity that defined itself by trauma. It means forgiving not just others, but especially yourself for past mistakes, understanding that you did the best you could with the level of awareness you had at the time. It's about no longer showing up in the world through your wounds, and instead showing up through your purpose. It's letting the old self die so the true self can be born. This process of letting go can be, and often is, deeply uncomfortable. It creates a temporary vacuum, a space of not knowing. Friends may drift away, your routine may fall apart, and you may feel lost for a while. That's the test. Most people hate the feeling of emptiness and rush to fill it with anything, usually recreating the same old patterns. But the alchemist understands the power of the vacuum. They know that, both in quantum physics and in spirituality, the vacuum isn't empty. It's a field of pure potential, a force that magnetically pulls in the new with immense power. It's in the silence between notes that music finds its beauty. It's in the pause between exhale and inhale that the body resets. It's in the empty space you courageously create in your life that the universe finds the blank canvas it needs to paint the masterpiece you've asked for. As long as you're clinging to the old, you're telling the universe, "No, thanks. I'm good with what I have," even if your mouth says otherwise. The act of letting go is your most powerful declaration that you're truly ready to receive. Trust the process. The period in the vacuum is a time of recalibration. It's when your energy is adjusting to the new frequency. It's a time to be still, to listen to your intuition, and to strengthen yourself from the inside out. Don't rush to fill the space. Just be. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort without reacting. It's in this space of permission that new ideas, new inspirations, and new people, the ones aligned with your new self, will begin to appear, magnetically drawn to the space you've made for them. And when that sacred space is created and held with trust, a new and powerful energy begins to flow into it, filling your life in ways you couldn't have imagined. It's an energy of abundance, creativity, vitality. But to become a worthy vessel for that energy, to allow it to flow continuously instead of becoming a stagnant pool, you need to understand and embody the most fundamental and often most misunderstood law of universal abundance. The most misunderstood law of prosperity, in all its forms, is that it is not accumulation, it is flow. The energy of the universe, whether in the form of money, love, creativity, or opportunities, needs to circulate. Trying to hoard and hold on to this energy out of fear of lack is like damming a river. The water becomes still, stagnant, and lifeless. To receive more, to become a channel through which abundance flows, you must first be willing to give. The act of giving opens the channels for receiving. This goes far beyond just donating money. The energy of giving can show up in countless ways. Give your time to listen to a friend in need. Give your knowledge to help someone solve a problem. Give a sincere compliment that could brighten someone's day. Give your full attention to your family, without the distraction of your phone. Every act of giving, no matter how small, is a declaration to the universe that you trust the flow, that you believe there's always more where that came from. When you give from a place of genuine abundance, feeling like you have enough to share, you break the spell of scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is rooted in fear. It makes you hold back, hoard, fear spending, and dread that resources will run out. That vibration of fear, as we've seen, attracts more experiences of lack. By giving with an open heart, you emit a vibration of trust and sufficiency. And the universe, like a mirror, reflects back more reasons for you to feel confident and abundant. As Thoth taught in his teachings, he who withholds the flow stagnates his own soul. A person who only receives and never gives becomes an energetic swamp. Energy comes in but doesn't flow out. It turns toxic. On the other hand, a person who allows themselves to be a channel, where energy flows in and out freely, becomes a river of clear water, always renewing, always full of life and vitality. By becoming that channel, you ensure the energy of abundance always returns to you, often multiplied and from unexpected sources. Start small. Buy a coffee for a stranger. Leave a generous tip. Share a book that helped you. Offer your help on a project without expecting anything in return. What matters isn't the amount, it's the energy behind the act. Do it with joy, with a feeling of gratitude for having the ability to give. Feel the expansion in your chest as you contribute to someone else's life. That feeling is your vibration rising, tuning in to the frequency of universal prosperity. This law applies to everything. If you want more love, be more loving. If you want more recognition, recognize the good in others. If you want more opportunities, create opportunities for someone else. What you send out to the universe is the template for what you'll get back. You become the source of what you desire. This takes you out of the position of a beggar, someone passively waiting for the world to give them something, and into the role of creator, someone who initiates the cycle of abundance. This final calibration, the seal that makes your manifestation inevitable, is the practice of active gratitude. And it goes far deeper than just mentally listing things you're grateful for or saying thank you mechanically. Active gratitude is the act of feeling, in every cell of your body, with the full intensity of your being, the emotion of already having the reality you desire. It's the practice of being grateful for your dream fulfilled, before it has fully shown up in the physical world. It is faith in its most potent form. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the peace you're seeking as if it's already filling your heart. Feel the financial freedom you desire. Imagine the calm and the absence of worry. Feel the joy of the loving relationship you want to create, as if the person is already next to you. Don't think about it. Feel it. Let the emotion of your fulfilled goal fill your entire energy field from head to toe. Stay in that feeling for as long as you can. That is active gratitude. By doing this, you align your vibration so precisely and powerfully with the frequency of your desire that the universe has no choice but to manifest it. You're applying the fundamental Hermetic law, as within, so without, at its highest level. You're no longer asking the universe with a vibration of lack. You're commanding your reality from a vibration of wholeness. You become a vibrational lighthouse, and your outer reality is magnetically forced to reorganize to match your inner light. This is the big difference between the mindset of someone who begs and someone who creates. The one who begs says, "Universe, please give me this." The underlying vibration is, "I don't have." The one who creates says, "Universe, thank you for this." The underlying vibration is, "I already have." You don't wait to see it to then believe and feel. You choose to believe, feel, and vibrate with gratitude, and then see the manifestation happen as a natural and inevitable result. It's a shift in cause and effect. You become the cause, and reality becomes the effect. Practice active gratitude daily. Find moments throughout your day to pause and evoke the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Do it when you wake up, to set the tone for your day. Do it before bed, to program your subconscious overnight. The more you live in that emotional state, the faster you collapse the time between your current reality and your desired one. You are literally pulling your future into your present through the power of your emotional field. This practice also dissolves resistance. Impatience, doubt, and anxiety arise when there's a vibrational gap between where you are and where you want to be. By feeling gratitude for your desire as if it were already real, you close that gap. There's nothing left to wait for, nothing to doubt. You're already living in the energy of it. The journey stops being a struggle to achieve something and becomes a celebration of your imminent arrival. Peace replaces anxiety, and confidence replaces doubt. And when you master this practice of feeling gratitude for the future in the present moment, when you can sustain that vibration of fullness, you access the final state of conscious creation. It's a state of being that ancient masters and sages from all traditions have described in different ways, but that can be understood as 0 point, the nexus of creation, where power becomes absolute and manifestation becomes instant. 0 point is not a place, it's a state of being. It's the state of consciousness where you're no longer reacting to the external world. You're so deeply anchored in your inner peace, in your connection to your purpose, that the chaos of the world can spin around you, but it can't touch you. You become the eye of the hurricane, a center of calm and absolute silence, while the storm of life rages around you. From that state, you stop trying to create your reality. You simply are, and your reality shapes itself around your being. In that 0 point state, your actions become fluid and effortless. You no longer act from discipline or willpower, but from divine inspiration. The right actions simply flow through you at the perfect moment, without hesitation or overthinking. Your emotions become balanced and calm. You still feel them, but they no longer control you. They pass through you like clouds in the sky, while you remain the vast, unchanging sky. Your connection to purpose becomes so unshakable that it becomes your very breath. You stop fighting the current of life, trying to force outcomes your ego wants. Instead, you realize a much deeper truth. You are the current. You are an expression of the universe itself, and by surrendering to the flow of life, you allow the infinite intelligence of the cosmos to operate through you, creating results far greater and more perfect than your limited mind could have imagined. Surrender becomes your greatest strength, and trust becomes your natural state. In this state, manifestation stops being an isolated event you try to make happen and becomes a continuous state of being. Your outer reality becomes an instant reflection of your inner state. If a new inspiration arises in your awareness, the resources and synchronicities to bring it to life appear almost immediately. The time gap between conception and materialization drastically shortens because there's no longer resistance, doubt, or conflicting beliefs in your system to delay the process. Reaching 0 point means you've fully integrated all the pillars and laws we've discussed. They're no longer techniques you apply. They've become part of who you are. You don't practice conscious communication. Your words naturally reflect your truth. You don't try to feel gratitude. You live in a constant state of appreciation. You no longer need this video, or books, or gurus, because the wisdom is no longer outside of you. It has become your very essence. This is the state of spiritual sovereignty. You no longer rely on anything external for your peace, your happiness, or your sense of power. You've become the source. You are the sun of your own solar system, and your reality, like the planets, gracefully orbits around you. It's the state that Buddha called nirvana, that Jesus called the kingdom of heaven within. It's the return to your original state of unity with the source of all creation, before the layers of conditioning and illusion were placed on you. You've been given the complete map. Every step, every pillar, every law has been delivered to you. The wisdom to become the master of your reality is now in your consciousness. But there's one last, crucial truth, a truth that overrides all others and will ultimately determine whether this all works for you and transforms your life, or remains just a beautiful intellectual theory. You now have the knowledge. You understand the architecture of your reality, the 4 pillars of belief, emotion, communication, and action. You understand the unifying power of purpose, the art of emotional alchemy, and the universal laws of flow and gratitude. The full map to leave your old reality and build the new one is in your hands, clear and detailed. You can see the path from your current prison to the freedom your soul longs for. The wisdom has been delivered. If you made it this far, comment below. I don't attract what I want. I attract what I am. I want to see who actually stayed until the end and got the message in this video. And if you want to help the channel more directly, there's a link in the first pinned comment where you can support and help spread more content like this. Any help means a lot to me and to the growth of the channel, but just the fact that you stayed till the end has already helped a lot. You can also share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And don't leave yet. I picked out a special video for you. It's already on the screen. Click it now and I'll see you there.